Caribbean governments need to fix this. Why is it so ridiculously expensive to travel within the Caribbean? Picture this: at the time of writing this script, a round-trip flight from Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago to Kingston, Jamaica cost around US $670, from the 15th of May to the 25th, and sometimes more depending on the airline taken. Compare this to a flight to Miami, Florida from Trinidad and Tobago for the same period costs US $550. While this may seem like a minimal difference, in some cases, the cost of traveling within the Caribbean is almost 1.5 times more expensive when compared to traveling to US states such as New York, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale. It is for this reason that intra-regional travel is not performing at the level that it should, though such holds so much benefit for tourism and trade. Similar sentiments were echoed by the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, at the opening ceremony of the 44th meeting of CARICOM heads of government in Nassau, the Bahamas. The Prime Minister said that it is difficult for us to extol the virtues of the Caribbean single market and the economy without addressing the proverbial elephant in the room, intra-regional transport. He added, "The reality is that it is too difficult and too costly for the people of the region to move and enjoy the benefits of true integration within the single space which has been created for them to do so at optimal levels." As a region that relies heavily on tourism, even the International Air Transport Association has sounded a warning. The association notes that Caribbean destinations are running the risk of pricing themselves out of the global travel and tourism market, where passengers have more choices than ever before. So let's dive in. What is the reason for such expensive airfares? Number 1. Small market size. The size of the region, made up of many small island states scattered across a vast expanse of ocean, means that the market for intra-regional air travel is small and fragmented. This makes it more expensive for airlines to operate flights, as airlines may not be able to achieve the same economies of scale that they would in larger markets. Privately owned low-cost carrier RedJet quickly realized this when the airline collapsed approximately 2 years after being launched in 2010. The airline struggled to generate sufficient revenue to cover its operating costs, while it struggled to maintain its low-cost business model due to its inability to attract sufficient passengers to make flights profitable. The fragmentation of the market is further exacerbated by different language groups and historical ties across the region, with limited flight connectivity among the English, French, Spanish, and Dutch-speaking Caribbean. For instance, flying from Kingston, Jamaica to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, a distance of 479 kilometers, often requires one to fly from the U.S. city of Miami, 978 kilometers away from Kingston, to take a connecting flight that will take them back down to Haiti. This is simply due to a lack of direct flights. The Caribbean Development Bank notes even with most islands only having one major airport, the small size of the local markets creates challenging demand-side conditions in terms of establishing commercially sustainable routes. Number 2. High taxes and fees. The inbuilt disadvantages of small markets, low domestic and regional demand, and short sector lengths are exacerbated by taxes, fees, and charges that further increase the cost of travel. In 2015, a study by the Caribbean Development Bank highlighted that for American Airlines routes, 6 of 10 destinations with the highest taxes, fees, and charges, also known as TFCs, were in the Caribbean community, CARICOM. In September of 2022, Regional Vice President of the International Air Transport Association, Peter Serta, stated that while the rest of the world was charging 15% in taxes on airline tickets, the Caribbean imposes up to 30%. In some markets, TFCs make up half of the total ticket price. Mr. Serta cited an example where a flight from Barbados to Bermuda, the taxes and fees represented 56% of the ticket price, compared to Lima, Peru to Cancun, Mexico, where taxes and fees only represented 23%. So distressing is this issue, in 2019, a group known as Citizens Against High Intra-Regional Caribbean Travel Taxes, which amassed a petition of 20,000 signatures, wrote to Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines asking Caribbean leaders to review the current TFC regime on intra-regional travel and take action to reduce the high taxes applied to regional travel. While many Caribbean leaders have spoken publicly about the need to reduce TFCs, collectively little has been done to reduce this burden. While in her 2023 budget statement, Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados announced a reduction in fees associated with travel within the Caribbean community for a 6-month period starting July 1, 2023. More sustainable and long-term action is required among leaders of the English, French, Spanish, and Dutch-speaking Caribbean. The region must aim for the day when a ticket to other Caribbean islands is lower than the price of a ticket to Miami. This will only serve to boost both intra-regional tourism and trade. Number 3. Limited competition. Research has shown that the liberalization of air services has led to greater air carrier competition, more routes, reduced airfares, and higher traffic volumes. However, compared to other markets and regions in the world such as Europe and North America, the Caribbean has not experienced extensive liberalization of air services. There are only a few airlines such as Caribbean Airlines, Inter-Caribbean Airlines, and Bahamas Air that operate flights across the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, many governments have maintained tight control over their airline industries, which has stifled competition and innovation within the market. Indeed, another reason why low-cost carrier RedJet failed was due to the regulatory challenges that made it difficult for the airline to successfully operate in the Caribbean. The airline faced considerable delays from many Caribbean governments to fly to some destinations, which limited its route network and revenue potential. There you have it, a quick look at some of the main reasons for the high travel costs to and within the Caribbean. Other factors, such as high seasonal demand and operational inefficiencies, also come into play. To end this video, I make another plea to the powers that be to come together to reduce the cost of flying to and within the Caribbean. Alright Vagabonds, hope you enjoyed this quick video. Let us know in the comments section how you feel about this issue. See you later. Remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video.